to you, Barry.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Right, so civil society in a changing climate in the Caribbean, a youth perspective. It must be noted and it must be made very clear that in the fight against climate change, that youth are indeed a part of this. Not for one moment we must forget that or even stray our thoughts. Let's look at some of the facts that we have currently in the Caribbean. The Caribbean population is made up of about 60% of youth, which of course the highest level of unemployment is among. Also, it is a fact that we have high tokenism among the youth population in matters of policy, environment, and development. I know you may question what I mean by high tokenism, because yes, we have young people sitting on the table, but sometimes you really wonder, are their voices being heard? Do they really have an impact on the decisions that are taken when it comes to the policies that are developed, and how impactful or how forceful are they in the implementation of it? Because sometimes you really don't feel the drive if you're not a part of something from the beginning. You cannot just take me halfway and say, run with this. Young people want to be a part of the grassroots development of the policies and programs that concerns them. Youth and unemployment in the Caribbean, of course, you cannot mention climate change and youth without mentioning unemployment, because it's something that are directly affecting the young people. We have over 25% of youth in countries that statistics are available for are unemployed. And to break down into male-female, we have about 30% of females being unemployed as opposed to 20% of males. However, I want to point your attention to the small note below the heading which says, climate change is not the end. There is still hope. Most times we present on climate change and we present doom and gloom. But I want to make it abundantly clear to all the young people in the room, and I see lots of young people here, that this is not the end. With climate change comes the hard part, the high sea level rise, the intense storms and hurricanes, food scarcity, and so on. But I want to tell you that there's an opportunity for new education. And we have some of the listings there. Also, new innovation in technology, and for example, technological apps, climate apps, renewable energy development or production. Also, new job opportunities. And in order to grasp the new job opportunities, we must first step back into the new education. From my college that I attended, that's a TA Marriage Community College in Grenada, every year you have almost 30 to 40% of young people graduated with associate degrees in business or management. Very little in the environmental science department. Young people, we must understand that the times are changing, the world is changing, and we need to educate ourselves and expand our horizon. What are young people looking forward to from the COP21 and what they want in general? Inclusion in the development of policies on climate, energy, youth development, and sustainable development. From the COP, we want a legally binding agreement. We are tired with the going around and the discussions, and yes, it's important, but we want to see some real action coming out from these meetings. And to do that, we are going to hold our leaders definitely accountable, because we are the ones that will be directly affected by climate change. 1.5, the Caribbean youth are definitely behind this 100%, I must say. 1.5 on or below. Most sustainable development plans that are earth friendly, start to say that from my observations, it appears that sometimes in the Caribbean, when you speak about economy and development, you speak about concrete structures. There is very little when it comes to producing things that we can actually use to our export. You speak about development and we speak about, oh, let's build a stadium there, or let's put a wall down there. Why not let's discuss sustainable plans that can bring back something and put it into the economy and that young people can really benefit from. A world good enough to live and to preserve for our future. In Grenada, we have a place that we call the Carnage. It's where the Osprey, the ferry from Carriacou, comes in. And you know, I was walking up past there some time ago and I realized that the water is actually coming over the wall because it's a waterfront. Those of you who know Grenada. And I'm wondering, by the time my children gets here, would there be a Carnage? So we really want a place that that's good enough for us to live and that we can preserve it for our future. And this is what the Caribbean youth is asking for. Now this message goes out not just to the youth, but everyone here. How can youth get involved? We need to take responsibility for our surroundings. Use recyclable materials. The message, I believe, is clear by now that this is real and it's happening, and we must take action. Conserve energy and water. Avoid unnecessary clearing. Well, there's a concept that cleaning means cutting all the bushes. We need to change that mentality. Advocacy, community groups, NGOs, public consultation. And we really want to see more youth rallying and coming out and really pushing the message, togetherness, unity. Help with data collection and research. Research is very important. Become, a climate advocate. Monitor developments to ensure they comply with the laws. Be trained and updated on policy and other climate programming. Sometimes I feel sad that discussions are happening on the big tables and youth are not even watching the news. You know? So these are some ways that we can really get involved. Join the discussion, very important. I have a saying that some young people call themselves radicals and all they cast is negative comments. To me, if you want to be a part of the change process, sometimes you have to be nice. And recently I was presenting on a paper on utopianism, and I was saying to the young people, you cannot continue to stay outside the iron door and bang it hard. They would never open it. You have to ease yourself in and work from within the system. And this is how change is going to happen. This is how youth are going to have a voice. A message from the Caribbean Youth Environment Network. This organization represents over 800 young people across Latin America and the Caribbean. I am privileged to be the president of the local chapter in Grenada and the deputy chair for the region. What do we want? We are calling on our governments to create an enabling structure of governance that will allow young people and youth organizations to be involved and engage in climate dialogues and action at the national level through government agencies, the regional level through regional mechanisms such as the 5 Cs, and the international level through the United Nations Framework on Climate on Climate Change. That's the UNFCCC and other related processes. Ladies and gentlemen, as we pull down this brief presentation, I wish to share this short video from some young people from the TA Marisha Community College. A lot has been said about young people staying away from the fight, but I want to tell you there are some faithful soldiers who believe in change.